Boojagan.
Friday night, we're off to the races. Come and see familiar faces. Uncle Meat, Rob Daniels, Jon Snow. Gibby's here, it's the place to go. Grab a star of rock with Mike and the man, Metal Man. Grab a star of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. T-Bone's here, it's time for a party. And Chris has got the comments started. Grab a star of rock with Mike and the man, Metal Man. Grab a star of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Grab a star of rock. Grab a star of rock.
Harrison, good morning. Good morning.
Good evening.
So for those who are confused, see, Harrison and I we have a time difference of 12 hours between us. So for Harrison, it's Saturday morning. For myself, it's Friday evening, 9 p.m., 9 a.m.
8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Hmm.
So we only have 11 hours between us.
Yeah, it's weird when I think when the daylight saving kicks in. Oh no, you, it's an 11-hour difference. LeBrain, it's a 12-hour difference.
Oh, okay. Anyway, welcome everyone to the LeBrainless special. Once again, we did this once in July. It was quite a fun time. It gives Mike a chance to lay back and just enjoy the show as an audience member, but he's still with us. He's acting as a behind the scenes.
Boojagan.
And singing "Hooked on a Feeling" as well.
So anyway, let's get this party started. As you all know, we like to start the show with a little something we call Ask Harrison.
Hey, Harrison. Baldy Mike here from the shores of Lake Huron, Ontario. And something I've always been meaning to ask you. I like to swim. I'm right near the beach. You're in Australia. You're surrounded by water. Do you like to swim? How often do you get to the beach? Just something I've always wanted to ask you. Take care.
I hate the beach. I hate sand.
What?
I hate sun. I hate salt water. I haven't been there in like 10 years.
Wow. Well, there's the answer for you. Oh man, I'm the opposite. I love the beach. But I'm kind of with you on the sand part. I like it when I'm there, but afterwards I'm like, oh, sand in my car, sand in my hair.
It gets in everywhere.
Yeah, but I like it in the moment. So I'm weird like that. All right. So Harrison, what are we up to tonight, brother?
I believe we are grabbing stacks of rock.
We are indeed. I've got a moderate stack. Just to give you a little preview. All on CD tonight.
Mm-hmm. I have 3 stacks, mostly across CDs.
Okay, right on. So to be fair, there are more things in Australia than one. That's true. That's a good point, Tim. That's a very good point. Yeah, not many sharks or octopus or the likes around here. So
hang on, Lake Huron, that would be freshwater, wouldn't it?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so Mike wouldn't have the saltwater element, probably.
True.
It tastes like shit, and it makes your eyes hurt. I can tell you that.
What, salt water?
Yeah.
Yes. I will. I'll agree with you there. All right. So shall we get right into it, brother?
I think we should.
Okay. Would you like to go on ahead and get us started?
I suppose it makes sense. So it's mainly just some new arrivals I've had over the past couple months and a couple of rare things. So I'll start with, I was in the mood for some live Elvis. So I picked up the best of the comeback special.
Oh, right on.
This is a recent issue of it, which includes 3 live bonus tracks, Little Less Conversations, Burning Love, and what's the last one? I can't remember. Suspicious Minds, plus a modern bonus track with some modern artists on it that I've never listened to and never plan to. Because I think it was released for that the Elvis movie that came out recently.
Okay, got it. Oh, the old RCA type label. Very cool.
I did also pick up Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow live in Birmingham 2016. Now, this doesn't have as much songs as either of the Memories in Rock shows, but it does have something that neither of them had, which is a live performance of Burn. And at the time this was released, I believe that Soldier of Fortune wasn't available elsewhere because Memories in Rock 2 hadn't been released yet. And I believe it's only on that, but I could be wrong. The brain will have to correct me. So yeah, this is a soundboard recording, so it's not at the same quality as the two Memories in Rock shows, but it's still a good show. Still great fun, this one. I like Ritchie. I'm glad that Ritchie Blackmore was giving some love to Rainbow at that time of the year. All right, so this next one's neither new nor rare, but I do want to acknowledge the passing of Michael Gambon with this excellent soundtrack. Michael Gambon being an actor rather than a soundtrack man, but still. That's it. All right, so it's probably well known on this show that I'm a big fan of Concrete Blondes, so naturally I have some new arrivals to show off. So the first is the CD single for Walking in London. Let me just get my fingers off the words there. Now, I picked this one up because it had a live version of God is a Bullet on it as one of the B-sides. I had this version already, but because I have every live version of God is a Bullet, but I sort of wanted to get it anyway so that I had every issue of every live version of God is a Bullet. Other B-sides are True and Bloodletting the Vampire Song, which we'll get to in a minute. And then the A-side is Walking in London, but it's a single edit that butchers it, so as most single edits tend to do.
I used to have Bloodletting on CD, and I sold it years back, but I need to get it again because it is a good album.
I've got a real rare, the Australian Tour edition of Bloodletting. That's got an exclusive live cut of God is a Bullet that can only be found on that exact version and nowhere else. It wasn't reissued on the 30th or 25th anniversary version of it in 2010. Yeah, I know that would have been 20th anniversary. It wasn't reissued there, although the rest of the live tracks were, and they're on another rarity collection I have there. So now I did mention Bloodletting the Vampire Song. I also have the sort of CD single for Bloodletting the Vampire Song. Now this has 4 tracks on it. It has Bloodletting the Vampire Song, short version. It has Bloodletting, album version. It has Bloodletting, French version. And it has Bloodletting, German version. And that's why I picked it up, to get the French and German versions.
Dude, I got to look those up.
Yeah, the lyrics are in French, but the chorus, the verses are in French, but the chorus is still the English version. Same with the German version. Okay. Yeah, now I own every version of Bloodletting because there's the long version as well, which I have on a rarity collection. So I believe there's 5 separate versions of that song. It's just the side of that. A couple last things now. I did also pick up Sabaton's Heroes album on recommendation from a work colleague, and it's a very good album. Definitely a good place to start if you want to get into the band. Got a heavy baritone on the singer, so as you can imagine, that appeals to me. And there's some symphonic elements in there for those that appreciate that. And the last thing for this stack is going to be a bit weird, but I did also pick up the soundtrack to The Lion King 2 because I like the soundtrack. And it's this one's actually a bit rarer than, I don't know why it says that, because it's not like a sample issue. It must have been like a store sample that they took a stock and then made it a sample. But because it's just regular issue. But yeah, this one's a lot rarer than the original soundtrack, which has had a number of reissues including this one. Both soundtracks are really good.
That actually, I missed what that was because I don't know if it's my connection, but it froze for that whole thing. I didn't see what the CD was.
It's the soundtrack to The Lion King 2.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
So I will end my first stack there and pass it to you.
Okay, I don't know if it's on my end, but the
You are
connection
a bit fuzzy and choppy.
Okay.
Hopefully you don't cut out during your bit.
Yeah. Here, wait, I'll try logging in on my phone. Excuse us, folks. So,
all right. In the meantime, then, guess I better just start grabbing stuff while you wait. well,
yeah. Who's watching tonight? Leave some comments.
All right. So this is always a good one to show off. It's the I think it's the special edition soundtrack of Return of the Jedi. Now it's hard to see, but it is a 3D lenticular cover with, if you look at the Falcon there, the TIE fighters shoot at it and it moves as they shoot.
Oh wow. That must be like a rare edition then.
Yeah, it's not exactly common. You can't get it these days. Mm-hmm. And another thing I just had on hand was this. This is the soundtrack to, in the US or in the rest of the world, it's called Resident Evil 2. But because this is a Japanese issue of it, it goes by the Japanese name Biohazard 2. This is the old 1998 video game from Capcom. The fact that this is the Japanese version makes it a fair bit rarer. And to go with that, I have the
folks
interestingly named Biohazard 2 Complete Track, which is every bit of music that wasn't included on the original issue of the soundtrack, plus, well, not the original issue, but the first issue of it, plus some sound effects from the game. Now, this is quite rare. This holds the distinction of being the most expensive CD I've ever bought.
It's the most expensive CD you ever bought?
Yeah. In terms of, like, you know, one album that you buy, not like a Judas Priest box set or something like that, or like a super deluxe of something. I haven't bought any super deluxes, but this is for like a single album sort of thing. Yeah. The most, I definitely spent the late tax, not spent the late tax, paid the late tax on this one. And considering that it was released, I think, a year before I was born, I was always going to pay the late tax.
Am I still a little choppy and pixely?
You're better, I think, now.
I'm better? You're better, too. I have my phone here in case, but okay, let's leave it as is for now, and let me know if you have any problems.
All right, well, take two. I'll hand it back to you now. We can cut the rest out in post.
That's the thing. There is no post. Yeah. Let me put this on mute.
And I guess because I've had it on hand, there's my vinyl of ZZ Top's Afterburner, my vinyl of Made in Japan, and a couple drawings that my sister did for me at my request. I guess I better keep grabbing stuff. So, what do we got here? This is a live DVD of Ozzy Osbourne. It's called Speak of the Devil. It's not the exact same shows that were recorded for the CD Speak of the Devil, because there's actually Ozzy Osbourne solo tracks on this. You can't tell because of the poor lighting, but there's Over the Mountain, Mr. Crowley, Crazy Train, what's that say? Revelation, Mother Earth, Steal Away the Night, Suicide Solution, Goodbye to Romance, I Don't Know, Believer, Flying High Again, and then the trio of Iron Man, Children of the Grave, Paranoid. So this is really cool. This was recorded in 1982. It is Brad Gillis on guitar. This was after Randy's passing, but it is a cool live document from Ozzy back in the day. All right. Jex still appears to be frozen. Let's keep grabbing stuff. All right. This is The Wall by Pink Floyd, the movie. I did pick this up about a year or two ago. Great soundtrack. Movie's enjoyable as well. The interesting part is actually the movie soundtrack features songs that weren't on the original soundtrack album, and in some cases features re-recordings of some of those songs as well. I think there's a song called like When the Tigers Go Marching In or something early on. That's the only one I can think of. But yeah, that's interesting. As far as I know, there hasn't actually been released a proper soundtrack to the album. You know, I think you can only hear it in the film. But you all ready now, Jex?
I think so. Am I okay? Do I look all right? Do I look or am I frozen?
Yeah, no, you look all right. Sounds a bit tinny, but other than that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm using my phone now. But man, technology, eh? It's great when it works. Okay, so I got a few new arrivals today, courtesy of Facebook Marketplace. Very excited to get these. Some of these are not easy to come by. So the first one is an album I've been wanting on CD for a while. You see that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is Stay Hungry, Twisted Sister.
That's a double.
Yes, it's the 25th anniversary 2-disc. I'm not going to open it. I did that. I did that earlier in the just like a flip tray 2-disc, and they both fall out. So I'm not going to do that again. But
yeah, there's a certain brand of flip tray where the grip on the disc gets really weak over time.
Yes,
I think it's that one.
This is one of those. But I'm really excited. I had this album on vinyl. I have it on cassette, and I just never bought it on CD. I've always kind of passed on it. You know, the single disc version. And now I found this one. Well, I got to get it. This is going to be worth the bang for my buck. As you can see, lots of bonus stuff here. Where's our producer at? Can we get a full screen? Can we get a full screen on me, please? Are you sleeping? Oh, there you go. All right. So this is the bonus stuff. I don't know. Might be a little out of focus. For those who want to pause, there you go. Really excited. I love this album. Not my favorite Twisted Sister, but I do like it a lot. Keeping up with the theme. Love is for Suckers. This one I never come across. Never. And this is a 2011 reissue on Armory Records. It's remastered, and it contains 4 bonus tracks, which I believe are all demos. So I listened to the album today for the first time in full, and I didn't mind it. I know, like everyone says, it's basically a Dee Snider solo album, but I like it for what it is, you know. Can you still hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. There you go. Cool artwork on the disc right there. What are your thoughts on this one, Harrison?
I haven't heard anything really by the band. My favorite thing Dee Snider has done was cover Alice Cooper's Go to Hell.
That's all you know?
Pretty much, bar 1 or 2 songs. But that's a really good cover of Go to Hell. Amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Alice Cooper, like they were friends, right? Like Alice Cooper is on the title track, Love is for Suckers. And you can tell it's him. He's got that voice. Love is for suckers. So you should check that out. He's also on the album before this, Come Out and Play. Alice Cooper sings on Be Cruel to Your School.
Mm.
You're missing out, Harrison. You're missing out. All right. My last one I got from Marketplace today, Little Dawkin. Beast from the East, which I didn't have on CD. I had on cassette. This is another one that doesn't come up very often. This actually wasn't included on their latest box set. It was only the studio album. So this is a live one that wasn't there. So I'm happy I found it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I will keep that as my first stack.
All right then. Time
Back
for
to
round 2. All right, so this isn't new. It's not exactly rare, but for those of you that read T-Bone Man recently, you might be aware of a character called Marshall Lockjaw. Now, Marshall Lockjaw, as in the name, comes from this album. This is, it's called Killers. It's the band, and the album's Murder One, but it's Paul Di'Anno. It's basically his solo or the band that he was in. This is from 1992. And there is a song here called Marshall Lockjaw. Now, where I got the design inspiration for Marshall Lockjaw, as you can see in the booklet there's a side profile shot that shows off his robotic face, red eyes, and mustache and hat. And then inside the booklet there's Japanese booklet because this is the Japanese version, but there's also like a full body shot poster of him, which is where I got the brown design and cape and the wide brim hat from.
That is cool. I don't think I've ever heard of them.
Yeah. Paul Di'Anno's solo career hasn't exactly been filled with gems, but this is quite a good album. It's probably the highlight of his solo career. Yeah, there's a lot of great songs on here, like Impaler, Martial Lockjaw. Those are the two main ones there. They're the enduring classics that got played for a bit.
Nice.
But yeah, his solo career hasn't exactly been too successful for him, alas. All right, so we're going to shift to a new arrival now. Alice's latest. Load. Now, I've got the CD-DVD combo, which comes with a live show from Hellfest in 2022. Thanks, LeBrain. Now, highlights of this include Bed of Nails being played, Roses on White Lace getting played for the first time in a while, Stephen in full for the first time in a while, and the mix in this live show is interesting because Nita Strauss's backing vocals are mixed quite high compared to most of the other shows she appears in. So you can actually hear her, and it adds a different flavor to a lot of the songs. In particular, 18 is where I think you can hear it most, and it sounds quite good with her backing that.
Cool. What do you think of the album?
A lot better than Detroit. Detroit was like a big slab of like samey sameness that didn't stick with me. Road, even though it's still a bit long, I think it's got a number of good songs on it that actually stick with me, that stuck in my head, and I think just a lot better than Detroit for sure.
Okay, cool. I haven't heard it yet. That's what I was asking. I'm curious.
Yeah. There's a couple of standout songs, and then there's a bunch of good songs there. Once again, it's like Detroit. It's probably a bit long, but it doesn't feel as long because it's not as samey. Now, I had a coworker visiting from over east, and by over east I mean the other side of the country, and well, not a coworker, an ex-coworker. He left, not me, because he had to relocate over east. But he ended up bringing a little surprise back for me, which I got just this Wednesday, which is a double fat case of neither Raise Your Fist and Yell and Constrictor, neither of which I had. So really good. Yeah, really nice to get these. And if there's ever an Alice Cooper album set that you want in like a fat case like this, it'd definitely be these two. Yes. Now here's something funny. So there's a couple layers to this. First of all, it says, even though these are separate albums, it says that Raise Your Fist is disc 1 and Constrictor is disc 2. Now, for starters, they're separate albums. They don't have to be disc 1, disc 2. But for those of you that are switched on, you'll know that, and it says here on the back as well, that the copyright for Constrictor is 1986, and the copyright for Raise Your Fist and Yell is 1987. So if you wanted to number them, you'd put Constrictor 1 and Raise Your Fist as disc 2. But they've done it the other way around.
OCD triggered.
Yes.
That's a beautiful. I've never seen them in a combo pack before, and I need Raise Your Fist and Yell on CD. I have Constrictor. I don't have the other one, so that's cool, man. That's really cool.
I'd never seen this before either. He just hands it to me and I'm like, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah, that's a score. That's a score right there.
All right, and so my last thing for this round is something that I got almost a year ago, but I don't think I've ever showed it up, which is Slade's live box set, All the World is a Stage. Now, previously, the only live Slade, or the best live Slade you could get, is this Slade Alive, the anthology. It features Slade Alive Volume 2, Slade on Stage, and Alive at Reading 1980, the EP. So this basically collated all of Slade's previous live offerings. It was the best place to get live Slade. And then, very gratefully to Slade fans like me, last year they released All the World is a Stage, which it's got some unreleased stuff, some previously released stuff. So it's got a Slade Alive, which was previously unreleased, and it's got Slade on Stage, which was previously released, those two. It's also got the full Alive at Reading. Now, for Slade fans, you'll know that Alive at Reading was the show Reading 1980, where they they came in at the last minute to replace Ozzy Osbourne, and it was that performance that reignited their career into the early to mid 80s, where they had a number of successful albums and singles there. You know, they were basically on death's door before that performance, and it completely revitalized them. Then you've got Live at the Hucknall Miners Welfare Club in 1981, which is a good show, but I do prefer the Alive Volume 2 to this, which is not on here. And then you have an amazing show, Live at the New Victoria. I believe it's 73, but I could be wrong. Let me see if there's anything about it on here. No, I should have done my research before this, but Alive at the New Victoria is a really good show. Sounds really good. Noddy's an incredible voice, and it's just covered in songs that you couldn't get live versions of previously, and they're amazing renditions. This is a really good set for any Slade fan. Although you will have to get this if you want Alive Volume 2, because it's not included on this, which is a shame. Alive Volume 2 is great, so I do recommend picking it up. Or if you can pick it up on CD separately, that'd save you a bit of money, probably.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, that's my round 2. So I'll throw it back to you.
I know very little about Slade. I know like their hits, like the original "Come On, Feel the Noise." That's them, right?
Yeah.
And "Run, Run Away." You know, I know the hits, but I'd have to really take a deep dive because I know very little else. Okay, so before I get to the file, you showed something. I want to just show off spontaneously. You showed off that Alice Cooper 2-for-1, and it reminded me of this weird oddity I have in my collection, which is a Judas Priest 2-for-1.
That's an odd double.
Exactly. 2 different eras of Priest with a Stained Glass and Rain It Down, and I don't know. It's really weird, but 2 separate discs here.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And
that one numbers them as well.
What's that?
It numbers them as well. It puts Stained Glass as disc 1 and Rain It Down as disc 2.
CD1, CD2, yeah. And luckily, it's the same as if you buy the 2001 remasters. Like it has, to my knowledge, the same bonus tracks and they sound the same. So I happened to not have either of these. When I saw this, I'm like, well, it's a no-brainer. I might as well get it. But when you showed that Alice Cooper set, I was like, I gotta show this. This is probably my oddest Judas Priest entry in my collection.
At least mine were from the same era.
Well, yeah, yours are back to back, but yeah, mine are like 2 different. You have the 70s and then the late 80s. It's odd, but hey, like I said, I needed them. So I'm gonna show off just some random items from my collection. These I just happened to listen to recently. Anthrax, Sound of White Noise, 1993. Mike was on a show. Was it John Clauser's show, The Music Corner, and they discussed this that went against an Armored Saint album that I forget the name right now. It's the last Armored Saint before John Bush joined Anthrax. Anyway, it made me want to listen to this one, and yeah, it's so great. I hadn't listened to it in a while, and it was great diving back into it. I'm more of a Joey Belladonna fan when it comes to Anthrax. Symbol of Salvation. That's the Armored Saint. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, I'm more of a Joey Belladonna fan when it comes to Anthrax. I love his high notes. I love, when it comes to vocalists, I love falsettos and like, so John Bush doesn't do any of that. But you know what? It's this was a great, as his first album with the band. It's a great one. It's a great one. You can see it's 93, right? So they were like veering away from the thrash, and it's kind of a newer sound, but it works here. The later of the John Bush stuff is not really for me, but that was a good one. I've also, recently enough, I've re-listened to this, which is Celtic Frost, Vanity Nemesis from this is 1990 on Noise Records, and I don't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to Celtic Frost. I know the name. I hear that their earlier stuff is a lot heavier. They had really kind of toned down around this time. This is just straight up heavy metal, and I dig it. I recommend this one. Again, I'm not too knowledgeable of the band. I can't say much about them, but I just happened to get this one, and I recommend it. It's you get a lot of in the vocals. Every time the guy, this is the singer whose name escapes me right now, but every time he's about to sing, he's like, so if you want dangerous heavy metal, Celtic Frost, Vanity Nemesis, check it out. So I'm going to show off these last two together, and this will be the end of this round for me. I was looking at my shelf and I saw these. I'm like, man, I haven't listened to these albums in years, and they just happen to be from Tom G. Warrior. Yes, that's the vocalist from Celtic Frost. Thanks, Mike. Good thing you're here, because I got all kinds of brain farts tonight. So anyway, yeah, I haven't listened to these in years, and this band just happens to be from your home country, Harrison. You ever hear of these guys? This is Tame Impala.
I have heard of them.
Right. Yeah. This is this is Inner Speaker and Lonerism, and not usually the kind of music I'd be into. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe Tame Impala. It's kind of like more of like an indie sound. Yeah. A little quick story. Around 10 years ago, I started dating this girl, and she was really into them. And I knew like one song, which is Elephant, which is an excellent song. First time I heard Elephant, I thought this is like a mix of the Beatles and Black Sabbath. It's such an odd pairing, but it works, because you have like these John Lennon-esque vocals, but you have like a chugging, jonga, 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 I'm like, what is going on? This is amazing. But not the rest of their song. Yeah, that's probably their heaviest song. The rest is not like that. But anyway, I started dating this girl, and she was really into the band. I only knew that one song. So I went to HMV, and I got these two. I think they were like 2 for $20. So I got them both. I went to pick her up from college one day. I had Tame Impala on in the car. She was like, oh, wow, you're into Tame Impala? I'm like, yeah, of course. And anyway, that must have worked, because this is 10 years later, and she's in the next room with her 2 kids. So I did something right. So yeah, Tame Impala. I haven't listened to these in a while, but I ripped them to MP3. I put them on. We're gonna listen to them. We're going on a trip tomorrow. We're going to visit my parents, so we're gonna listen to them in the car. I'm looking forward to it, because they're a fun time. So I'll leave it at that. End of my round. Back to you.
Thank you. Mike and I are planning sometime in the future to do an Australia show, and I think that would be good, because I got a lot of cool Australian stuff that I could show off.
I'll bet. So like just Australian artists, you mean? Like,
yeah, just for me, it would be more than just Australian artists. I've got Mad Max stuff that I can show off as well. But yeah, Australian artists, just yeah. Oh yes, of course, Peter. That would be great. Nice. That looks a little different to my version, which is.
Oh, yeah. Yours is cool looking.
Mine is a newer issue, and if you get all 3 of them,
it looks like they took the font from the 2015 Fury Road.
Yeah, this was. If I had to say, I reckon they reissued these. Yeah, copyright, package design copyright 2015. They reissued them because of Fury Road.
There you go. Yeah, mine's 2001, and you can't go without these either.
Yeah, my father's got a double feature of those too. I've got Road Warrior separate. I've been looking to get Thunderdome, because then I can complete the.
Oh, yeah.
And until I don't, it's going to annoy the crap out of me.
Soon.
But anyway, so yeah, I saw Rob just join, so I'll just show this off. I showed this off earlier quickly, Rob, but it's the Lion King 2 soundtrack. It's a bit rarer than number 1, and it's still a really good soundtrack. Now, so I'm probably going to skip my round 3 into 2. So not split. I'm not going to skip my round 3. So the first part's just going to be some DVDs, mainly concert related. This first one is a bootleg of an official release, which is odd. It's basically, this was only ever released on VHS. It's Billy Joel's 1982 concert from Long Island, and this is a DVD that basically takes that VHS and puts it on DVD.
Okay.
So this is it's a great performance, and it's just stacked with well-known songs. Allentown, My Life, Angry Young Man, Piano Man, The Stranger, Moving Out, Pressure. Sorry, Rob's comment just blocked it. Italian Restaurant, Just the Way You Are, Still Rock and Roll, Big Shot, You May Be Right, Only the Good Die Young. It's basically everything you'd want from a Billy Joel show. I think there's any songs, except maybe some personal deep cuts, that are missing from this that you'd want. Yeah, this is really cool. I'm glad I was able to pick this up.
Yeah, that's like essential, Billy Joel.
Your classic bootleg style
Very
disc.
plain, yeah.
But yeah, no, great that one. Now, has anyone here heard of a band called Ian Drury and the Blockheads? After Jex unfreezes. You back with us?
Yeah, I'm back. All right. Try that again. I heard. Has anybody heard of a band
Whoa.
called
Ian Drury and the Blockheads?
I love Ian Drury. I love him. He's
Alright.
yeah.
So you'll know this. You won't be surprised to see this then.
That's
This
cool.
is a live DVD from their 1985 show at the Hammersmith Odeon, which, as you can see, they say is their favorite venue. This is just a real cool vintage, basically, performance of this from this band. The track list isn't too long. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 songs. But it's got the one that I bought it for, which is "Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick." Now, something really funny that happens in the and cool that happens in this performance of "Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick" is, there's a saxophone solo in the song. Now, the guy who's playing the saxophone, he's holding one in each hand. He has them both in his mouth, and he's playing them both at the same time.
What?
Which is just really cool to see.
Yeah, I bet. I'll have to check that out. I know, like, I love the Ian Dury. I've heard. I don't know all of his stuff, but I remember the song that got me into him is "Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll."
That is on there.
Oh,
It's
I
the
love
last
that
song.
The last song? That's cool. Does it have "Reasons to Be Cheerful" Part 3?
Part 3, it does indeed. It's got another one that I like, which is "We Want the Gold," which is
I don't know that
that's
one.
a bit more of a pirate themed one.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a very fun show.
I'll bet. I'll have to track that one down.
Right. Now this is a particularly rare Paul Di'Anno DVD from his solo career. It's from 2003. It's from a performance of the main show is a performance from that era. So you've got that show, then you've got a couple bootleg shows, Norway and Poland. It's basically a couple tracks, 5 tracks and 7 tracks from those shows. Obviously not as good quality, still cool to see. And then you get some bonus audio tracks, which at the time I think were premieres. I think this was the first time they were getting released, but it's songs called "Only in My Dreams," "Only You That This Love Needs," and "Searching for You." They're just 3 neat tracks that are cool to hear. I think this would, as I said, would have been the first time they were hearing them. The main show itself is pretty good. This was sort of like around the turn of the century, Paul Di'Anno started to put less and less effort into his singing. So he still sings all the words in all the songs, except for 2 lines in "Running Free," which he lets them sing. But you can sort of just start to hear it compared to his performances from like 2001 shows. He's just starting to go off the cliff. And then by the time 2015 comes around, he's not putting any effort in. But yeah, this is still a good show.
That's Beast in the East?
Yeah, so yeah, Beast in the Beast in the East.
Beast from the East. Could be confused.
And then there's Priest in the East.
Oh, right, yeah.
This last DVD, which is my last thing for this round, is a movie. So it might be in Rob's corner. It is Alien 3. This is a double disc version that includes the special edition, the assembly cut, which is by far my preferred version of the film. I love this film. I love it very much. I like it just as much as the other 3 films. And I'm glad to have the assembly cut on DVD. It's got this cool shiny slipcase here. But, I was thinking, maybe next time Rob's on, we could do a show based on our top 5 bad movies that got like the critics mauled them, but we like them regardless.
Oh yeah, there's so many of those. So what is exactly is the assembly cut that you're talking about?
It's basically, it's like the special edition of Aliens. They put in a lot more scenes that were cut to sort of expand it, and they also change a bit in the start that instead of the dog that gets face hugged, it's an ox, in order to explain how such a big alien fit in the inside the actual body. Because even though it comes out as a baby, it's still quite big for a dog.
I'd be curious if I have it because I have the box set. It's the Alien Quadrilogy, which is like 9 discs. Like you have to unfold it. You know, unfold
I
open.
think that when did you buy that? I think that would have it.
It's from 2009, 2010, somewhere around then.
Yeah, I think a lot the special edition was sort of created for this box set. I can't remember if it was around the turn of the century or whether it was around 2010, but I'm pretty sure it was created around then.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
yeah.
I have to. It's in storage right now. But yeah, you got me curious. I'm like, I have to. It's been so long. I haven't seen any of those movies in so long. So.
Mhm. Yeah, the reason it's called an assembly cut or a special edition and not the director's cut is because director David Fincher had disowned the movie and wasn't involved in the assembly cut.
Oh, okay. I always heard there was a director's cut, but I guess they meant the assembly cut.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Right, so I'll toss it back to you then.
All right. So
I'm just going to grab one or two more things to substantiate my round 4.
So I have 5 discs here. So this could be my last round, but hey, if ever you want to see more stuff, we could always play a game of name a band and I'll just run to my shelf. So for this last file, I went strictly live. I know you're a encyclopedia when it comes to live stuff. So let's see. What shall I show first? Well, how about this one? Since I already talked about the band. Twisted Sister, Live at the Astoria. Ever heard of this one?
I have not.
Oh, perfect. Thanks for confirming, Rob. Thank you. This is cool. This is released in 2008, but I believe the show is from 2004. It was like a pay-per-view live special, and it's a great set. Opens up with What You Don't Know Sure Can't Hurt You. The kids are back.
doesn't have that, he says.
Really? Dude, this is a great show. Can we get a full screen for a second, please? Wait. Less commenting, more zooming. No, I'm just kidding. I'd be up for that movie show. Nice. Yeah. So this is the track listing here. And what's cool about this one? This is also one that has a DVD, so you can also watch it. And I watched it once when I first got this in 2016. And it was cool. It's a cool show to watch. What I thought was the most interesting thing watching them live is Mark the Animal Mendoza on bass. Just seeing him he is like I know why they call him the Animal, because he's just like it's wild to see, man. It is wild. So I'm really happy to have the DVD of it on here too. And it's actually produced by Mark Mendoza, which I only noticed earlier when I pulled this out. I'm like, what? I never noticed that before. So that's a great show.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a Twisted Sister live album where they covered, I think, Jumping Jack Flash and Highway to Hell. I could be wrong. I think maybe it's an iTunes exclusive, but I do remember seeing something like that.
Never seen that, but you got me curious now. That'd be cool. I wonder if that's like a more recent.
Yeah, I saw it on iTunes, so it's very possible that it's just an iTunes exclusive they put up. But yeah, I'd have to look into that.
Right on. So the next live one I pulled out is Saxon, Rock and Roll Gypsies. You into Saxon at all?
No, I haven't heard anything of this.
Really? This was like my intro to Saxon. I picked this up at a pawn shop in 2009 or so. And I really enjoyed the songs. Like a lot of these, I've still only heard the live versions. Like I remember hearing Rock the Nations. I thought that was such a good song. And of course, Dallas 1 p.m., which is about the assassination of John F. Kennedy. It's pretty heavy song, but it's a good song no matter what. Power and Glory opens it up. So this is not like the thing about this is it's a collection of live. It says recorded live in Eastern Europe, 1988. That's all it says on the back. So the songs kind of fade out and then they fade back in. So it's not like it kind of takes away from the effect of watching a live show, but still a good collection. What else we got? This is Deep Purple. Nobody's Perfect. Yes. You familiar with this one?
I am familiar with that. A lot more than everything else you've shown off. I recognize that cover.
Right. Yeah, I love this artwork here. This is actually the first Deep Purple CD I picked up way back when, and I didn't know what it was. I saw that it opened up with Highway Star. I'm like, oh, I love that song. I thought it was a compilation, like a greatest hits. So then I put it on my car, and as soon as I heard the crowd, I'm like, oh no, because I didn't used to like live stuff. There was a time when I wanted just studio and nothing else. But it's grown on me. As you can see now, I have an appreciation for live releases. But at the time, I was like, oh man, this is live. But it's really cool.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when we first got a Fistful of Alice, we got it thinking it was a hits collection. And then, we were blown away by how good of a show it was.
Well, there you go. Yeah. No, it's, this, like I said, it's grown on me. Like Ian Gillan, it's the stuff that he does. Like, you know how in Highway Star, the solo, like, he does that with his, like, he vocalizes it. He's like, it's crazy. And then he breaks into Jesus Christ Superstar at one point because, he played Jesus Christ in the play at some point. So he breaks into Jesus Christ Superstar. It's just entertaining. Like Ian Gillan is really entertaining on this one. I'll show two more of your live ones. Let's get into a little heavier stuff. This is Candlemass live. Very rare. This is a rare one. I got this one from a radio station I used to volunteer at. This is on Metal Blade. So he played Jesus on the album. Yeah, there you go. So are you familiar with Candlemass, Harrison? No. You want to laugh? They have a video called Bewitched, which is a really great song, but the video was made like on no budget whatsoever. It's from the late 80s. It looks like it was filmed with a camcorder. Entertaining as hell. And it's a great song, Bewitched, which is track 3 on here. This is what I like about this one, you know how live albums are often like doctored in the studio after the fact, and they're all polished and Doom dancing. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, this is very, very Doom stuff. Yeah, what's nice about this, it's not doctored, it's not cleaned up, it's raw. Well, they recorded it and just pretty much slapped it onto a CD. So it's great. I like it like that. Yeah. I hadn't listened to this one in a while. I listened to it while working out recently, and it's great. This is the only Candlemass I have, so I need to get their studio stuff eventually. And last one, sticking with the heavy stuff, this is Overkill. Wrecking Everything live. Thoughts on Overkill, Harrison?
Haven't heard anything.
What? Are you a thrash guy?
Not particularly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Everybody say they're very, very thrash. This is like from the Bay Area, like this is one of the bands that people say if there was like a big 5 or a big 6 of heavy metal, they'd be on here with like Exodus, right? So this is just a collection of their live tracks from them. And what's cool, I got this again from I Don't Care for the Voice or California. Fair enough. This again, I got it from a radio station. As you can see, that's the call letters CKUM. But it's got like this sticker back here, which I was looking at earlier. It's kind of nice. It tells you everything like genre, loud rock, story, 5 rockers from New Jersey. Live disc covers their 2 decades of music, recorded in Asbury Park, New Jersey, March of 2002. And then it tells you the title, Wrecking Everything Live, in stores June 18th. And then there's a phone number. It says, call Dave. And then there's his email address. So I don't know if he was like their representative or what, or the label guy, but I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't have any other CD with all this info on it. But yeah, this is another fun one. I prefer their studio stuff, but it's fun to hear them in a live setting because they do put on a hell of a show. Well, that's it. That's my live stuff for you.
All right then. So before we bring Mike on, I'm just going to show off something that I picked up very recently that he's probably going to like. It's not music related, but it is a shared interest of ours. This is the Siege Megatron mold, which won't mean much to you, but it means it's from 2019. But it's the 35th anniversary version of the mold, which means that the paint job is done to look like it's like cell shaded. You can see there's like those streaks there, and it's a bit hard to tell on the camera, but the legs in person it looks a lot better. It's got this, looks like it's straight out of the animation. This cell shaded look. This is probably my favorite G1 Megatron mold, and it's my favorite deco of this mold because, as Mike sort of pointed out, Siege, they covered them in battle damage scratches. Let me see if I can reach a Siege figure. Yeah. So this is Hound. So Hound is actually one of the best Siege figures because his battle damage, you can sort of see there's like silver crowd on his shins there. Now Hound's battle damage was actually really well done. But most of the other Siege figures, it looked really bad. So that's why Mike doesn't like Siege, or at least I presume. And part of the other reason is because before, they did Siege in 2019, where they did sort of these G1-ish designs, and everyone bought those because they were the closest to G1 that they had. And then the year later, they did Earthrise, where they did actual G1 designs, and then everyone bought everything again in Earthrise because it was more accurate than Siege. But the Earthrise Megatron was really hard to get, and I actually really like the cel-shaded deco look for this. So, yeah, I absolutely paid the late tax on it, but it was absolutely worth it.
Nice. Yeah. It looks great. That's a cool looking figure, man.
So I suppose we'll get Mike in then.
Come on down. Oh, not ready.
I think.
Ooja booja gun. Sorry, I've been putting that sound effect up every so often tonight to see if I can get Jex to laugh. And I saw him laugh a couple times and look baffled a couple times.
I didn't know that was live or if it was a recording.
It was a sound effect that I recorded, and I decided to not tell you I was going to do that. See, the lighting's not great here, but I'm here to show you.
Scorponok.
Yeah, that's Scorponok. We've showed him off. Showed him off in 2021, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
just quickly, Mike. Was I correct in the analysis of your appraisal of the Siege line?
Yes, 100%.
All right.
Okay, how's that? That's not so bad. Okay, so I'm here tonight as do you like my tag on my name there?
Very good, Dante.
To talk about something that we never showed off on the show yet. And I only know 2 or 3 people who have this, John T. Snow being one. And this is the new 50th anniversary Aerosmith Greatest Hits 6 CD version from Japan. So maybe I'll do a zoom in here so you guys can get a good look at it. Jen and I had a good solid listen to maybe half of it, a little more than half of it so far in the car. So you can see all the hype stickers. There's 3 separate stickers there on the front. And, of course, the Obi strip or Obi strip, however you pronounce that. And there's the back cover, which is part of the Obi strip. So there you go. We will take this out, and I'll briefly give you a synopsis of how I feel about this thing. Let's just take myself off the solo layout. Here's the inside cover. Now, you guys heard the news about Steven Tyler?
I did, but I'm forgetting what he can't sing, right?
Damaged vocal cords. They have to take him off tour until the new year. So they've canceled or postponed, whatever the case may be, their current. It's called Peace Out with the Black Crowes. So this is the Japanese booklet, and it has all the lyrics in English. But I think Aerosmith are the kind of band where, they have that early part of the career, which is almost all but universally acclaimed. And then they have the 80s part of the career, which is beloved by many, but, you start to get into ballad territory. And then you have the stuff that followed that. And you get, a lot of ballads is what I'll say. And we were listening to this, and I started us off with the live material because it's like, we've already heard all the greatest hits. Let's skip straight to the live. But before I talk about the live, I will discuss the greatest hits. There's some good cuts on here. Disc 1, Mama Kin, Dream On, Lord of the Thighs, Same Old Song and Dance, Train Kept a Rollin', SOS, Seasons of Wither, Walk This Way, Big 10-inch Record, Adam's Apple, Sweet Emotion, Toys in the Attic, Combination, Nobody's Fault, and Home Tonight. So a really good mix of hits, some deeper cuts, live staples. Disc 2, Back in the Saddle, Last Child, Bright Light Fright. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Draw the Line, Kings and Queens, Let the Music Do the Talking. Walk This Way with the Run DMC version. Hangman Jury, Dude Looks Like a Lady, a live version of Ragdoll from the Little South of Sanity album. Angel, Monkey on My Back, What It Takes, Janie's Got a Gun, and Love It in an Elevator. Now, there's a few songs here that we're going to hear way too much of in the live discs. once we get past let the music do the talking is when I start to kind of tune out a bit, because I think Dude Looks Like a Lady, Ragdoll, Janie's Got a Gun, and Love in an Elevator, all 5 of those songs, I'm sick of them. I told Jen in the car on the way up, if I never hear Love in the Elevator again, I don't think I'd even notice.
Yeah, overplayed for sure.
Overplayed. And then same with disc 3, we've got some good stuff like The Other Side, but then we have Living on the Edge, which I never need to hear again. Amazing, I like. Get a Grip, I hate. Crying, I'm sick of. Eat the Rich, I still like. Crazy. Yes. Falling in Love is Hard on the Knees. Pink. 9 Lives. I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Jaded. We All Fall Down. I don't even remember that song. That's from Music from Another Dimension, their very last studio album. And then the radio remix of Just Push Play. So a lot of stuff that's like, no. There's a lot of my favorite tunes that are not on here, like Chip Away the Stone, which was a single in 1988 on its, to promote the Gems album. So, it's like not like that's my ideal greatest hits. If I was going to listen to an extended Aerosmith greatest hits, I would play the Red greatest hits. In fact, I would play the 1997 extended version of that. I think it's 1997, but it's called Greatest Hits 73 to 93 or something like that. And I would play Gems. Yeah.
73 to 88.
73 to 88. So I would play that, and I would play Gems if I was going to have like an extended Aerosmith greatest hits experience. And then anything after Gems is kind of like, there it is. Anything after Gems is kind of like there's Pump, and then nothing that I would consider essential. But let's go to the live stuff real quick here, and I'm just checking to see if there's here we go. The Japanese booklet has the track list. I started us off on disc 4, and I was just so disappointed. Now each of these, the first 2 Japanese bonus discs are 10 tracks each, with 2 tracks from a certain year. Starts with 77 on disc. Hang on, I just got to find the right page. Disc 3. Disc 4 it would be. I'm getting myself confused here. I apologize for my confusion, folks. Disc 4. Okay, so that's the first of the live discs. We start with 77 material. Mama Kin, which we hear a few times on this set, and SOS Too Bad from 77. Very rough sound quality. Tyler's voice was all over the place. Not really a lot of attention to melody. Then we get to 1989 with Monkey on My Back and Fine Fine, which I love both those songs. So they're both rockers. We go to 1993 with a pretty good version of What It Takes, but then we get to Crying. Then we get to 2003 and we get Love in an Elevator, and we get Pink, and we get from 2016 Crazy, and I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. And it's like this. I was like so sick of the CD, and I was like, Jen, I think I miscalculated when I planned our music for this road trip because this is not working for me. And she's like, but I like Crying and I like Crazy. And it's like, I know that's your era. And she grew up with the music videos on Much Music, and she was in high school, and those songs meant a lot to her. Whereas I was just like, Aerosmith, guys, ballads, too many. Stop. Disc 5, the next live disc. Oh, shit. I just keep screwing this up.
It's all good, man.
From 77, Adam's Apple, very ragged, very, very ragged. Crap, lost the page again. Walk This Way, we've heard it again now. Then from 89, we got Magic Touch, which I don't know if I have any other versions of Magic Touch alive. I should state for the record, I do not own A Little South of Sanity, and I might be missing another Aerosmith live album in there somewhere too. But Magic Touch, that's a nice one to have. Then we got Hangman Jury, which that actually appears a few times in this set. Those are from 89. From 93, we have Sweet Emotion, which, was a recent single for them at that time. They re-released it to promote Pandora's Box. We have Draw the Line from 93. 2003, we have Jaded again. Then we have Nobody's Fault from 2003, which was a nice surprise. In 2016, we have a medley of You See Me Crying, Home Tonight, and the full Dream On. Closing the disc with my favorite song from that 90s period, Eat the Rich.
Oh, yeah.
And I should also point out that Tyler plays very loosey-goosey with the lyrics on a lot of these songs live, and he like makes some dirtier and so on and so forth. There was one, I can't even remember what it was, but I know Jen and I were kind of like, he just took that one a tad too far, you know? And by and large, those discs vary in audio quality quite a bit. I was very disappointed with the first of those two, but then we get to disc 6, which is a full CD on its own from 2011 called Rock for the Rising Sun, live in Japan. This one was a much higher quality of audio. Set list started with Draw the Line, then 11 in Elevator again, Living on the Edge again, Hangman Jury again, No More, No More, Mama Kin again, Monkey on My Back again, Toys in the Attic, Listen to the Thunder, which is Joey Kramer drum solo, Sweet Emotion, Boogeyman, which is kind of like, yeah, right?
I like that.
So
Is that instrumental, right? At the
right.
end
I don't know if it's ever been released live and on anything else. Like that one kind of jumped out at me too. Like, wow, that's rare. Then we have Rats in the Cellar, Moving Out, Last Child, SOS Too Bad, Walk This Way, and Train Kept a Rollin'. So
that one sounds like a good disc.
That one was pretty darn good. So those 3 discs, as far as I know, are exclusive to Japan. They are exclusive to this version that I'm holding in my hands. And that cost me, I think, all told, about $150 by the time it got to my front door. Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of filler, though. A lot of filler.
Well, and one other thing I didn't mention when I talked about all those greatest hits on the first 3 discs, a lot of them are different edits and remixes from different singles, which is fine. Most likely, these are the versions of those songs that you've heard on the radio, you know?
You're not selling it, not to me. I'm like,
no, because these are not the songs I would have picked personally. I don't. Jen and I were talking about I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, and she didn't even realize they didn't write that song.
Oh.
On the live version, thanks Diane Warren. Like Steven Tyler comes right out and thanks her for writing it, But Jen had no idea that Aerosmith didn't write that song, right?
Me neither.
Then we laughed a little bit about the Armageddon movie. Oh, John Clauser. Hi. How you doing, buddy? Done with Mirrors tour. Yeah, they were not a good night. Interesting.
That's too bad.
I was happy that Let the Music Do the Talking is on here because that is in my top 2 Aerosmith songs, but Chip Away the Stone is not on here. That's my number 1 Aerosmith song. Chip Away the Stone. It's not on here. So that's a problem. Weird. And there's other songs that are not on here that are very important as well. I don't necessarily have a problem with ballads, but they didn't necessarily pick all the same ballads that I would have picked either. I don't know. Any thoughts from you guys? Like, are there any glaring omissions that you were thinking of?
It seems like they ignored the whole Rockin' Hard Place completely.
Yeah. There's no Jailbait. There's no Lightning Strikes. So you're right about that. Yeah, good point. I quite like Jailbait and Lightning Strikes. I don't mind those songs at all. I would put them on there ahead of some of those ballads. But
Night in the Ruts too. I don't recall hearing any.
Night in the Ruts. Yeah, there might not be anything. I mean, there's a really good mixture of tracks on the Pandora's box set, which Jen and I both owned in the 90s. And, that had a lot of songs in there like Coney Island, Whitefish Boy, 3 Mile Smile, Cheesecake.
Yeah.
There's some wicked slide guitar stuff on some of that stuff. Yeah. So it's like, I see what they're aiming at. They're pleasing the people that want like the hits, the songs that they're hearing on their radio. And I imagine a lot of these songs are tunes that they're going to be playing live on this tour. I think they are playing Hangman Jury live. Kings and Queens. I mean, I'm happy to see that on here.
That's a good one, yeah.
But where's I'm trying to think now. I'm brain farting. But
did you even mention is Dream On even on it?
Dream On is on here, yeah.
Okay.
There's a live version and there's a studio version. If I had Pandora's Box in front of me, I'd be able to just rhyme off a lot of those early songs that I think should have been on here instead of some of these songs. But, by and large, I told Jen I just spent $150 on something I'm not going to be listening to very often. And, that's the obsessive compulsive collection. Now, my Aerosmith collection is not complete. There's a few singles with B-sides I'm sure I'm missing. That I know I'm missing. I don't have Little South of Sanity. There are some versions of the Live in Las, what's it called, Rocks Vegas or whatever. There's a Live in Las Vegas disc that I have on Japanese import and dual disc in order to get, there's tracks on different versions is what I'm saying. And I need some of those. But with this being a new release, I had to get it. Even though I'll probably never listen to it in the long run.
That's a lot of money to spend, Mike. On
a lot of
something you're
cake.
not touching on.
A lot of cake. But I'll, maybe I'll endeavor to put together a review with lots of images and lots of spicy opinions, and get some traffic on the old website that way. And speaking of which, jexcaliber.wordpress.com. You've been posting fairly regularly, and you are back on the Distortion Den. What albums did you just cover on yesterday's show?
We are covering it drops tomorrow.
Well,
at midnight. Yeah, it's we're looking at Tesla Mechanical Resonance, and it's going up against another debut, which I have right here.
Oh, interesting.
Badlands. Tesla versus Badlands. We weren't even we completely ignored our schedule. The next episode was supposed to be The Cure Electric going up against Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction. We're like, nah, let's start off season 2 with a bang.
Hey, John Clauser, our good buddy John T. Snow owns The Vault, and I think he did a 15-part review in total. And while I am jealous because, the completionist in me wants everything, 11 CDs of Gene Simmons outtakes. Well, let's just say that John T. Snow was very thorough, and he rated every single song. So check that out on tooloud2oldmusic.com. Now, Mr. Harrison Kopp, are you basically focusing mostly on Lego art at this point in your creative endeavors?
Pretty much entirely, I think, aside from writing the occasional chapter.
Right, of T-Bone Man, of which we have plenty locked and loaded and coming for this winter and new year. I just wrote a chapter this week that will be introducing the mysterious Derling Foundation and their head of security, Jex Rambo. Who Jex Rambo is the character that you saw in the backdrop at the beginning of the show with no shirt on. Yeah, so check these guys out. Harrison can be found on Instagram, Harrison_1773.
1339.
Just pick a better. Why 1339? Explain this to me. Something easy to remember would have been preferred, but
it's just 1339 too.
Okay, fine. And much easier to remember is also jexcaliber.wordpress.com. And we'll be seeing these guys again real soon. I'm sure we'll be back next week with some combination of these fellows. Now, guys, as you know, we always like to go out on a song. And I just uploaded a Max the Axe song that we've never played on the show before. So we'll be playing that in a little bit. But is there anything else you guys want to say before we call it a night?
I don't think so.
Jex, you looked a little puzzled there for a moment.
I look puzzled. I don't know. I think I was trying to think. Do I have something to add? Am I forgetting something? I don't think so, man.
All right. Sounds good. So this is a new one for those regular viewers that we haven't played before. This is a song from, and I can't remember which album it's from. Maybe Harrison will know when I say the name, but this is a song called Space Marine.
I only have it on $1 Trillion Treat.
Yes, probably on $1 Trillion Threats and maybe the self-titled Max the Axe. But $1 Trillion Threats for sure. This is a song called Space Marine. So thank you for watching this up until now LeBrainless episode. Thank you two guys for doing an awesome job tonight, even despite the technical difficulties. I was ready to jump in if you needed me, but Harrison just kept going, and that was awesome. And I am jealous at both of you guys for some of the stuff that you've shown off tonight. Enjoy that Twisted Sister. And shame on Harrison for not checking out Twisted Sister yet.
Dude.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, you guys,
how much plays do you own, Jex?
Huh? How much
Blaze Bailey do you own, Jex?
Blaze Bailey?
Yeah.
How about that Max the Axe song? Let's go to the music.
All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful night. Hope to see you next week. This is Space Marine by Max the Axe. See ya.
See you later.
Got me in mind too, you was assigned to Lord of the Beast too, I wish I never finished through. Seems like a long stay, beans at the hand stay. The snipers is good pay, find them to the corner too. Beside the check freeze, keep them within reach. Talk to the hand speed, blood is warm, safe to mourn. Legions of true souls, held in the stronghold. Products of black holes, still goes on, still goes on. Exploded chest, man, that was a good stand. Still got his on hand, shells that tip, pain that ray carrying flesh. Axe torn mesh, that's one less. Confessions is chuck back in, I'm laser locked. Through atomic frost, I'm fanning lost. Truth be known, its covers blow, lightning so strange here. Vertical drink fear, so far I'm so near. To my home is one I go.